I get so viscerally angry at just seeing a post like this and then seeing how many likes it has and then going into the comments and it's full of women commiserating with this exact experience, except for it's somehow worse. Their husband somehow does it more and is somehow even more thoughtless and more selfish than the husband before. I have read so many stories about this on Reddit. I have seen this with my own eyes in real life. And we need to talk about this because this is not about the food, okay? This is about male entitlement, narcissism, and selfishness at the end of the day. And I think this behavior is so infuriating because it's more of a metaphor about how much more men take than they ever give. And they really do all of this with all the confidence and the audacity of somebody who's never had to cook a meal before in their life. You know, they were not standing over the stove, chopping, dicing, and boiling, seasoning, and doing all this stuff, and like standing on their feet for hours on end. They really show up, and not only in your kitchen, but in your life to take. And in exchange, most of them will claim that they provide. Yeah, you provide $60K a year. That's why you've got your wife in the kitchen, busting her ass over a stove, trying to make a meal that will last her more than one day, because you are taking more than you're giving. Nobody bringing home a $60K yearly salary deserves a personal private chef, let alone deserves to come home and eat the entire meal that she made that was supposed to last you 2 days, you and your family. The amount of stories I've read about men like this who eat the food without leaving enough for their children to eat, and yet will want to be seen as the leader and the alpha of their household. You take food out of your wife and children's mouths. You create more work for your wife than you provide her in return. This is not fucking worth it. I don't know how y'all do it. This is absolute craziness. It's the way that they don't know how to share. They only know how to consume. This is what you risk by letting a man into your life. I'm so serious. It's just like never having the mental peace of somebody who can think 1 or 2 steps ahead with you, not for you, with you. Somebody who can consider that your labor is painstaking and valuable. For somebody who could consider that instead of grabbing yet another plate of dinner, they may just need to eat a bowl of cereal or grab a piece of bread or do something that doesn't fuck up your entire dinner schedule for the week. They see the leftovers, they see the extra food, and they take it as a fucking challenge. Actually, like, this is so crazy making to me that I actually did research on this. I was like, has anybody studied this fuck ass behavior? And like the only studies that came up was like, yeah, you know, we don't really see this behavior in animals. Yeah, no shit. Calling a man an animal would actually be a compliment. Animals don't overeat. They don't gorge themselves the way that human men do. This is not even a typical behavior in animals. But what the researchers came up with is that this is basically another dick measuring contest. It's another way for men to feel macho and masculine at your fucking expense because they cannot give themselves that feeling. They always need to externalize it. They always need to feel like they did something, they impacted something, they like made somebody's life more difficult, and that's impact enough for them. It's fucking pathetic. It's infuriating. Like, imagine a man who thinks of himself as a fucking provider comes home and starts hoarding the food that you made with your time, with your labor, with your effort, with your blood, sweat, and tears. Like, cooking every day is such an exhausting thing. You try to save yourself 1 day of cooking so you could probably clean the house or take care of the kids or take the kids somewhere or do something that's useful for the family the next day, and this man is just gonna come home and make a challenge out of trying to eat all of it. all of it. And all the advice in the comments was like fucking pathetic. Oh, put it aside before he gets home and like hide it in the fridge. What the fuck? This is supposed to be your husband. This is supposed to be your partner, your life partner. Why is he getting off on eating as much food as possible, taking it out of your family's mouth? That is an enemy. That is not a provider. That is not a husband. That is not a father. That is a weirdo. It's the same exact mindset of taking so much more than they give that allows him to do this. The same mindset that allows him to sit there and scroll on his phone while you clean the entire house or apartment or whatever. It's the same level of entitlement that allows him to just take his shoes off next to the door and not put them on the shoe shelf. It's the same entitlement that allows him to drop his dirty, skid-marked boxers next to the hamper instead of actually in it. It's the same reason why he never makes the bed. It's the same reason why he leaves his fucking beard trimmings in the sink for you to clean up. It's because he thinks you're a maid. And on top of that, he thinks that's what he deserves for being a disgusting, insatiable slob. He thinks he deserves and is entitled to your eternal and never-ending labor. And like, I'm sorry, but I would be so disgusted watching a man eat and eat and eat until he's just bloated and overstuffed and he's like, oh, I ate too much. I would punch him in the stomach. Immediately, just punch him in the stomach as hard as I can, because what the fuck do you mean you ate too much? And now I have to cook again the next day. Once again, it's all about the mindset. It allows him to use you and to take more than what he gives. And like, if he can't be thoughtful enough to ration food, it's no wonder you don't expect him to be thoughtful enough to do anything else, like handle emotional conflict or like think more than one step ahead or be a good father to your children. Come home and do something thoughtful. You can't rely on him to do any chores. You can't rely on him to do the things that he says he's gonna do. He's so comfortable taking more than he gives. That's what this all comes down to. Please never forget that. And please never share your life with a man like this. You want a man who's gonna be like, do you want the last of this? Can I save you some? Are you sure you're okay with me taking this extra amount? You know, what can I do? What can I cook so that you don't have to cook another night? You know what I mean? The reason that she is mad and upset about this is because she knows he's not gonna do anything to remedy it. That's why. It's the whole fucking mindset, okay? Please stay safe out there and know that you are justified in feeling much more than just upset about this. If you feel like leaving, I understand that and I respect that and I encourage you towards it, because this is a deeply selfish man that you should stay away from. Mwah.